Essays on Untouchables and Untouchability Social by Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Chapter 3, Part 19. But while Vishwamrita contented himself with maintaining the rights of his tribe or family and became reconciled as soon as he was allowed to share in the profits of the priestly power, while King Janaka expressed himself satisfied with the homage paid to him by Yajna Valkya and other Brahmins, while in short successive reformers as they appeared were either defeated or gained over to the cause of the Brahmins, the seeds of discontent were growing up in the minds of the people. There is a dark chapter in the history of India, the reported destruction of all the Kshatriyas by Parshuram. It marks the beginning of the hierarchical supremacy of the Brahmins. Though the Brahmins seem never to have aspired to be the royal power, their caste, as far as we know, the history and traditions of India, has always been in reality the ruling caste. Their ministry was quoted as the only means of winning divine favor, their doctrines were admitted as infallible, their gods were worshipped as the only true gods, and their voice was powerful enough to stamp the simple strains of the rishis and the absurd lucubrations of the authors of the Brahmanas was a divine authority. After this last step, however, the triumph of Brahmanism was preparing its fall. In India, less than in any other country, who would people submit to a monopoly of truth, and the same millions who were patiently bearing the yoke of a political despotism threw off the fetters of an intellectual tyranny. In order to overthrow one of the oldest religions in the world, it was sufficient that one man should challenge the authority of the Brahmins, the gods of the earth, the Bhudeva, and preach among the scorned and degraded creatures of God the simple truth that salvation was possible without the mediation of priests and without a belief in books to which these very priests had given the title of revelation. This man was Buddha, a Sakya Muni. Now, if we inquire how Buddha's doctrines were met by the Brahmins, it is true that here and there in their philosophical works they have endeavored to overthrow some of his metaphysical axioms by an appeal to reason. An attempt of this kind we have, for instance, in Vachaspati Mishra's commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. In commenting on the tenets of the Buddha, that ideas like those of being and not being, etc., do not admit of discussion, Vachaspati observes that the very fact of speaking of these ideas includes the possibility of their conception. Nay, that to affirm that they do not admit of reasoning involves an actual reasoning on them and proves that the mind can conceive the idea of being as different from that of non being. The end.